Charles Tomes, top fan, says, is there a better comment on the American spirit than the fact that a B-29 Superfortress, F-4 Phantom, Spaceship 1 and 2, and a Long Easy will fly the same kind of experimental airworthiness certificate? Charles, I've mentioned this once or twice. It's been a while. The experimental airworthiness certificate is one of the last bastions of freedom in this country. It is, as far as I know, the clearest example of somebody saying, I'm an adult and I want to do this, and I understand that it's more dangerous than not doing this and doing the other thing, but I'm willing to accept that risk, and you want some minimal protections about, me not dropping an engine over a city or something, but so we'll fly for 40 hours until we'll fly off our 40 hours, and then if it doesn't fall off after 40 hours, probably not going to fall off. But to me, the experimental aircraft category is, it's like everything should be this. This is what America should be. I'm not a. You sometimes, to make things clearer, you have to go to the poles, to one pole or the other. And one pole is where everything is restricted, nobody gets to do anything. And the other pole is where anybody can do whatever the hell they want to all the time. And if you say you don't want to live in a world where everybody's controlling everything, sometimes people say, I guess we shouldn't have any regulations at all then. We hear this all the time. Oh, if you want a small government, I guess we don't need any government at all. That's not what I said, and it's not what I said. I said I want a small government. I didn't say I want no government. So the experimental airworthiness certificate, for those of you that don't know, certifying an airplane is an incredibly, unbelievably expensive and time-consuming process. In order to get an airplane's design past the FAA as certified, it's millions of dollars, and probably, realistically, it's 10 years. It's certainly not. It's not less than 3, and so, if you've got a design or an airplane that you want to build, it's going to cost, the cost of getting it certified is going to be built into the airplane. A brand new Cessna 172, just a Cessna 172, a Skyhawk, I want to say a brand new one is something like $300,000. I mean, that's a house. And my Long Easy was less than a tenth of that, and outperformed it in every way, but it wasn't certified. So this is what adulthood is. It's not just America. This is what being an adult is. I understand that the American people have some kind of an interest in the fact that not any single thing can fly over their house. If you live on a farm, I don't think there should be any restrictions whatsoever. But if you're going to go into airspace where people are below you, you have to pass some kind of minimum standards to make sure the engine doesn't fall off onto somebody's head. But once you do that, then what you're basically saying is, I'm ready to take the risk. And I have seen and been in experimental airplanes that I thought were far better built than certified airplanes, and I've been in one or two of them and seen a number of them that were not. I saw somebody once who put together a Very Easy, which is an earlier, smaller version of the Long Easy. And it's all made from fiberglass. It was laid up fiberglass. And I got close to this thing, and I swear to God, this plane looked like it was made out of chunky peanut butter. It was like if you'd taken Skippy peanut butter and just spread it on something that looked like an airplane. There were so many bumps and lumps, and it was horrible. But apparently nothing fell off it, so he got to fly it, and that's good. That's the way it should be. Everything should be this way. What's the word I'm looking for? A release of liability. Should be a release of liability. If I say, yes, I want to jump off of this bridge using your bungee cable. Yes, I understand there's a risk involved. Yes, I give up my rights to take any action against it. I'm an adult. I'm making this decision. Then I should be able to jump off of the building using that bungee cable, and if the cable snaps and goes into the ground, then I don't get to, or my survivors don't get to sue them when I've given my permission. It's just childishness, and you can't even get past those things anymore. Cessna was, they changed the law, and they didn't change the burden of proof, they just changed the time. Cessna said if we can get this limit of exposure down to, what was it, 7 years, then we'll build single engine airplanes again. And they did. And so they did. But prior to that, if somebody flew a 30-year-old Cessna 172 inverted into a mountain, in clouds, drunk, then the relatives of that person would sue Cessna and they'd get money. It's insane. It's insane. It's just part of the infantilization of everything, and there's a dollar value attached to having that attitude, and attorneys made a lot of money at it, and this whole thing. So if you want to live in a world where you can be sued for everything, and that's where we live in now, that's what you get for not being adults. You're going to get the adult end coming sooner or later, believe me. Hey, we're knocking them down.